Let me answer him directly.
No, we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back. But before we take the break, let me just read this quickly. There's a story on graphic.com.gh. It's declining. It says here, this 15th October 2024, declining crude oil production in Ghana, PIAC to meet over needed solutions. And I'll just go straight to the part which I'm interested in. It says here, total crude production from Ghana's 3 producing fields has declined since 2019, when they produced more than 71.4 million barrels of crude oil, representing peak volume since commercial production started in Ghana. Since then, production has been on a downward trend, with 66.9 million barrels being produced in 2020, 55.1 barrels in 2021, and production further declined to 51.7 million barrels in 2022 and 48.25 million barrels in 2023, says the PIAC report. We'll take a quick break. When I'm back, I'll get my comments from my guest here. Ibrahim is itching to comment. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It's still the news review segment, and you can communicate with us. You can share your thoughts with us. This message came in here. It says, greetings. What at all is wrong with our MPP government? What is this? Very shameful and disgusting. Statue at this time when you the very people have destroyed the country. Okay, this is coming from Anani in Ablekuma. All right, so keep the thoughts coming through. But just a bit of context here. I think this might interest you. Okay. So Upper Disco, this is the Herald newspaper carrying this story. Upper Disco Traditional Council claims a Kufuor's statue after Mahama's jabs. So, and the printing is not very clear, but I'll read what I can. Upper Disco Traditional Council has claimed ownership of the controversial statue in honor of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo at the 86-year-old Efian Kwanta Regional Hospital roundabout in Takoradi in the Western region. Now, the name here is not clear, but I see it shows up here again. Obrempong Nana Ahima Dechi, I think it's the 14th, said he hasn't heard any public disagreement over the statue. Now, he also says that it cost them 30,000 Ghana cedis to erect the statue, and he says that it was the willing contribution by the traditional council that they put money together and put up. Anyway, so you're going to make a comment.
Thank you. That supports what I mentioned earlier, that let's frame this discussion within the context of the data or the reality. I won't repeat myself, because I think the viewers on Channel One know exactly what I said. That, and you asked me about optics, did you not, David? And I said to you, I agree with you, but you cannot, the individual, you cannot legislate that you don't, recognize me in any way, shape or form. That's why I gave the examples of the roads. You may say it's apples and pears, but the fundamental issue is appreciation or acknowledgement of something, which is now manifests within being named after a road or an institution, a hospital block, a department, or in this case, the erection of a statue. So thank you for that intervention. It supports exactly what I said. This has nothing to do with the president. Nothing to do with the president. Now, on the issue of the oil, and I wanted Victor to give me some data, and you've given me some data, am I right? That within the Western region, oil production has been dipping.
Yes.
What happened?
From the 3
And
fields.
you started from when? 2019?
Yes.
Good. 2020, what happened? COVID. What happened in COVID? People stopped traveling worldwide. And what happened? There was a reduction in oil demand. Okay. And the Shell CEO, Shell, one of the largest oil production companies, the CEO is called Ben Van Beurden. Okay. Spelled B-E-U-R-D-E-N, for those who want to fact check what I'm saying. In 2020, he declared that the world oil demand may have passed its peak and may never recover, saying that demand will take time. Now, and I mentioned reasons why. COVID meant that the whole world practically stopped traveling. And then you had 2 of the major members of OPEC Plus group, not just OPEC, OPEC Plus group, which is Russia and Saudi Arabia. And they got into a supply war, flooding the market with oil, okay? Whether it's AGO, whether it's PMS, HFOs, heavy fuel oils, petroleum products were flooded in the market. This is 2020, 2021. To the point that West Texas crude oil, the value of a barrel was $0. It's there. West Texas crude oil price, like you have Brent crude price, was $0. I'm coming, Victor. I won't belabor too much because this is not why we're here to discuss. But you made a point, and I want to fact check you and correct you. So, if indeed, because what happened was there was a glut. We are producing oil, all right, worldwide, but there's nowhere to put it. It came to a point where storing the oil was more than the oil itself, because storage attracts a cost component.
Okay.
So West Texas, zero. So do you think Ghana was somehow immune? Had we somehow ring-fenced us from the global reality? There's a world demand glut, and you expect Ghana to somehow say, no, let's continue producing when nobody's buying. So understand the context in which oil production dipped. And we're still facing the after effects of it.
All right, okay. Fair enough. I think we can make progress from here. Let's get into the next story, the next conversation. We're looking at parliamentary impasse. Speaker adjourns House indefinitely again. Now, let me read this story for you. Again on ChannelOneNews.com. Bagbin adjourns Parliament indefinitely after MPP caucus boycott recall. Now, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has indefinitely adjourned the House due to the absence of a prepared agenda following the failure of the Business Committee to meet and set issues for deliberation. Now, the session, initially triggered by a recall request from the Majority Caucus, was anticipated to tackle pressing legislative matters. However, with no appearance from the majority MPs in the chamber, Speaker Bagbin voiced disappointment, noting that their absence prevented the Business Committee from forming an agenda. In his remarks, Bagbin explained that without an order paper, the House lacked a structured agenda to proceed. All right, and let me just come to you straight with that one, Victor. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Kweku. As a student of parliamentary proceedings and the rest, you see, you have requested for a meeting. Now the meeting, the request has been admitted. And when it was time, they said 10 o'clock, it was time, and you were not in the chamber. You were in a meeting, a caucus meeting. I think the right thing that should have been done was to inform the speaker that we are in a caucus meeting, or even send some of your leadership to inform them. That was not done. I'm sure that this is as of the remote causes or the bad bluff, the bad bluff between the speaker and some of the caucuses, maybe the majority caucus, right? The MPP caucus, that. But you see, in spite of all this, that's what I've always been saying. The argument that is being made, the speaker said, I'm going in accordance with parliamentary proceedings. Before Parliament sits, there should be an order paper. Pre the sitting, there should be a business meeting where they go to conclave and they discuss. This was not done, right? And as this was not done, and I heard the MP for Ifutu, Apenyo Markins, the leader of the MP, saying that it was an extraordinary meeting. An extraordinary meeting, you don't need to have a business meeting to have the order. But that has not been the case. Because if you check almost all the meetings that they have requested, there's nothing like extraordinary meeting. Extraordinary meeting, it's about companies. That is now being imported. Once you call for a meeting, it is a parliamentary sitting. It's a meeting. You must follow. So that's where the speaker says that I have not received any, there has not been any business meeting. There is no other paper to read. And if there's no other paper, we cannot do any business. I believe that if the MPP group was in Parliament and they are taking their seats, they could have, on point of information, give the speaker that, Mr. Speaker, whilst it has been admitted, the reasons why we have called for this meeting are this, and it has been admitted. So we presumed or assumed that once it has been admitted for those issues to be discussed, those issues should be deemed to be the other paper. This is a simple matter that could have been done. But because of the bad blood between the speaker and the MPP group, right? I think that they wanted to call off the bluff of the Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker had nothing to do than to adjourn the matter. It is at his discretion to adjourn the matter indefinitely or adjourn the matter to the next day. Or adjourn the matter to any other time.
But is it not true that to adjourn indefinitely, you must speak with the leadership of Parliament? To adjourn indefinitely?
Yes, with the
leadership of Parliament.
With leadership of Parliament.
Yes. Did he do that though?
No. So if he didn't do that, and he has adjourned, can't the leadership go back and say, yes, and meet with him and say, Mr. Speaker, we think on this note there was a slip. You should have done A, B, C, D.
Okay.
But you see, when after that you come and you spew negative, you say things about the speaker, right? And you say you are not a member of Parliament. So even if you are not a member of Parliament, we are members of Parliament. And the kind of things that are said in the media. And at the end of the day, you say you are going back to the same person to have consultation with it. It will not work. Okay. I have stated here, and I'll state it again. Don't we have statesmen? Don't we have elders in this country? Yeah. What surprises me is, in spite of all, even if the speaker has accused the Chief Justice and the President, executive, to weaken Parliament, the President still continued to be the President. Has he said, it has come to my attention what is happening. I think that we need solution to this. Than saying that Supreme Court has spoken. The executive have waited in the Attorney General. Supreme Court has spoken. If you don't obey, we will go for contempt or we will issue a criminal proceeding against you for high crime. Will that solve the problem? It will not solve. And how can you then go ahead and cite the speaker? Because the speaker has not disobeyed any order. Were the 4 MPs, were they in the chamber and he said, Masha, walk them out? No, he has not done anything. But you see, what they are getting is that the speaker should formally communicate and say that I have received the proceedings communication from the court, and the court says this. It is his choice. He has been injuncted. It is his choice to say, this is what I have received. Based on ABCD, I will do ABCD. Okay. Right? Yeah. But if you always sit behind and you say you are bringing some people, you see, when we are talking about elders, it should not be people who, yes, they may be politically tainted, but you see, you could bring all of them together. Respected across board. Bring these elders who can sit down and bring in Mr. Speaker, bring in the other leadership and say, look, this is Ghana for us. Yeah. This is what is happening. Okay. And this is the way we should resolve it. Right. But if the other institution, everybody thinks that they have power and they will exert that power, I don't think we will make a headway. Okay. Well, you see on the screen there, Honorable Atacha in very hearty engagements and with Roxana Dafia-Mekpo and other NDC MPs. So, and for me, I think it's the spirit within which we should,
relate to each other rather than this adversarial, positioning that we take oftentimes.
Before even that, look, even I can tell you in court, when we went to court, the day when Tajosori was to argue, we went together, we were chatting. He didn't see anything. Even some of the senators will say, some of the things being said by Tajos, he didn't say it well. Some of the things said by Attorney General was not in tune or accord with our ethics. At the back, we all are the same people. So I don't see the reason why. I feel that, look, we should allow maturity.
Okay.
We should allow the cool heads. And let's have the statesmen in this country.
All right. Thank you.
David.
Yes.
Thank you. October 18th, the Supreme Court declared or issued a stay of execution on the Speaker's announcement of vacating the 4 seats. Am I right? Now, Victor is saying that it's the Speaker that has been injuncted. I beg to differ. It is not Alban Bagbing, Honourable, that was injuncted. The Speaker, the office. So it's not within his remit to say, well, I'll do it or I won't do it. You don't have a choice. Otherwise, Ghana can then become an ungovernable country. If a court, no less a Supreme Court, tells you to do something, you say, well, it's the office that has been injuncted. Because the name on the order is not necessarily Alban Bagbin. I'm coming, Victor, in isolation. They refer to the office, the Speaker. So what happened last week or so? You're right, yes, they were in a caucus meeting. So when the Speaker sees some 40 members, MPs, honourables, all of them, sitting on the majority side, given that the Supreme Court has given you and your office an order, David, you say that we should have more mature minds and the elders. Alban Bagbin is both mature and of the elderly, let's say...
fraternity.
Yeah, fraternity. I'm coming, Victor. I kept quiet. All you have to do, order, I'm talking Alban Bagbin, the Speaker, MPs, NDC, please, you're on the wrong side. Go and sit where you should be. Because the issue has not been determined. Well, it'll be determined today, inshallah. I mean, that's where the immaturity, let me rephrase, where the lack of leadership, let me be fair, the lack of leadership by Honourable Alban Bagbin, the Speaker, failed to materialize last week. You've been given an order. You see that some members of Parliament or NDC are contravening that order, and you keep quiet. That is the basis of, let's say, a wrong turn, because you are subservient to the law. I'm talking Honourable Alban Bagbin. Victor, David, me, myself, Ibrahim Ajay, we're all subservient. When the law says do this, do that.
Okay.
Now then you say that there's an absence of a prepared agenda, the business committee cannot meet. Yes, they are all correct, but do the right thing and make sure. No, Victor, I beg you.
No, but the Speaker doesn't determine where people sit.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Well, the Speaker actually said that. The Speaker actually said that it is convention and that's not necessarily rule, but convention. But we also know that convention eventually becomes rule.
If a member of Parliament,
practice it long
if
enough,
a member of Parliament
the way it
goes and sits at the Deputy Speaker's desk, or the clerks who handle the Hansard, or even indeed pulls a chair next to the Speaker, are you telling me that the Speaker will not instruct the marshals to do the needful?
No, but in all fairness, we have where the MP sits. There's a left and there's a right.
Yes, I'm coming. And the left and the right.
Were they in the chamber to complain that somebody has taken
I'm coming. There's a left and a right.
We have a minute.
And the left and the right denote majority and majority. A minority, am I right? Unless we're saying it's free for all. If now we want to somehow shift the goalposts. No, Victor, let's understand something. Let us be fair to the issues on the ground. The left and the right says that majority sits one place and minority sits another. When you're having a football game, the referee knows at the start of the game who is on which side of the pitch, and at halftime who is on the other side. You cannot say it was by convention that you, Hearts or Kotoko, Liverpool or Chelsea can mix. It doesn't happen.
So
it
if
allows
you
for
move to
this
the
order.
other side of the pitch, what does the referee has to do? He has to say that no, you are not supposed to be at this part
Good.
of the pitch.
Good.
Were the people there
Oh,
to
Bashir.
say
No.
that, oh, this is where we are supposed to be.
No.
And we have seen
So
that
you see
people
what
are
Victor's,
occupying.
so you see
No,
Victor's
no, no,
point.
no.
Had there
Real
been
point
any
is that
issue raised?
if they
Had there
had
been
been
any
in
point-
Parliament,
It's just like two children, two of your
but
children
the Supreme
are
Court
fighting.
has given you guidelines.
Supreme
You as
Court-
yes, October 18th.
The Supreme Court said this
Eke
person
Boake,
should sit on the right.
your
and this person
decision.
should-
No, Victor,
Supreme Court
you
decision
see, when you
didn't
do
say
this,
that.
the viewers don't like it, and I'll tell you why.
No,
they're discerning.
No, you see-
Channel One viewers are discerning. They know
Yes.
what is right and wrong. So don't say somehow to
No, you
accommodate
see-
an illegality. You're a policeman. If I'm going past the speed limit, your job is to stop me and say, Ibrahim J. You've gone past.
Exactly.
Yes. Don't say, well, Ibrahim J.
Exactly.
You know, it's a convention that people can do 80 miles, so you continue. That is a recipe for disaster.
Okay, gentlemen,
Anyway.
we've run out of time. Thank you very much for joining me this morning, and thank you to you for being part of the conversation right here.
Just
Yes.
before we go.
Yes.
Just to commend the City TV and Channel One group. You know, when Bakpa Afajuokome, it's in my constituency, in my district.
Okay.
When the whole thing started, I think
This is the
that,
dam spillage he's
yes,
talking
yes, the
about.
dam spillage. When it started, I think I spoke to some people within the mines, and I think when the mines came together, they made some contribution, and Afajuokome was one of the places that they have built something for. I'm grateful. I'm sure that the people of Murphy are also grateful.
They've expressed their gratitude
for, yes,
as well.
for what
Yeah.
has been done. Actually, some people even came and said that land, there were issues, we should get in. I had to tell them that, look, no, we were working behind the scenes.
So that's
And
images
today-
of
and today we
the
have
final
we
structure
have
that we
this,
put up there.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that this has been done.
It's a market
Yes.
in combination with
Yes.
other
City
facilities
TV
and all that.
has done very, very well. And
Is
I'm
that
happy.
cement?
No, that's Mr. Matthew Aiden. He's our administrator.
Yes, so
Yeah.
I'm happy this has come up in a Bakpa.
wonderful.
And
Yeah.
I think that everybody within the Bakpa and Murphy are grateful for what has been done.
All right, okay.
David, if you allow me to add my voice to Victor's.
Okay.
A big Ayeko, well done. City TV and City
City
News
FM and Channel One TV,
A
yeah.
big Ayeko.
Thank you.
God
Thank you.
bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so we're speaking with Ibrahim Ejay. He's Assistant Secretary at the Office of the President, and Victor Kojoga Adawudu. He is a member of the NDC Legal and Communication teams. Gentlemen, thank you once again, and thank you too for watching. We're going to take a quick break. When we're back, we're going to have some music and then conversations with Plastics for Purpose, from plastics to purpose, and talk about recycling, reusing, and all of that, those conversations. And of course, after that, the PL zone also comes on. We'll be right back.